I do apologise. I'm getting a little bit confused. So a week after Gabriel moved out of quote-unquote John's flat, John, the actual John, received a visit from the police who told him Gabriel had died of an accidental overdose. The real John became suspicious after Gabriel's death and searched for other unexplained deaths in the area. He was shocked, of course, to learn about the death of Anthony Walgate, whose body was found at Stephen's flat, just a few hundred metres from the graveyard, where the other body had also been found. So his next door neighbour obviously has a little look around and goes, hang on, there's fucking some people dying of exactly the same shit. One, like, on my doorstep. The other one, like, just down the road at the graveyard. So even he's putting it together. But the police
didn't.
Not yet. The third victim was a young guy called Daniel Whitworth. He was just 21. All these guys are pretty young, by the way. They're in their early 20s.
Okay.
So Daniel Whitworth was age 21 when his body was found. Unbelievably, and this is a bit of a coinky-dink, the same woman who had found Gabriel's body at the graveyard also found Daniel's body in the exact same graveyard just 2 weeks after. So this woman was sort of walking her dog around the graveyard.
Yeah.
And both times she went walking her dog.
That's so traumatizing.
I know, right? I mean, what the fuck was she be thinking?
Fuck.
Obviously, she walks her dog, and she finds a fucking body, traumatic as shit. It wouldn't surprise me if, like, maybe she hadn't gone that way for a few weeks, and this may have been, like, one of the first times she went that route again.
And then she finds another one.
And then she goes, fuck, there's another dead body, what the fuck? I mean, that would fuck you up, right?
Yeah.
Alongside Daniel's body was a suicide note, in which Daniel claimed to have given Gabriel an overdose by accident after attending a chemsex party together. So this suicide note pretty much says that Daniel, the one now, they were him and the other guy, Gabriel, who was found at the graveyard earlier. They had a chemsex party together, and after Gabriel had accidentally overdosed in the graveyard, that Daniel became so overwhelmed with guilt that he now took his life and put himself in the same place he was. So that's the vibe that this note was giving off. Part of that suicide note was shown to Daniel's stepmother, Mandy. Now, she said that she couldn't be 100% sure one way or the other whether it was Daniel's handwriting on the letter, but the police actually documented that she had identified it as Daniel's handwriting. So even though she said she couldn't be sure went 100% one way or the other, the police said, yeah, she said it was.
Sorry.
Yeah. So they're just going,
why?
Because they're fucking dicks. That's why. So she and Daniel's father were eventually given access to Daniel's full suicide note, which both of them said categorically did not sound like Daniel, with sort of like the tone and everything like that. Apparently, the tone contained the line, "Don't blame the guy I was with last night." But when Mandy raised this with police, they said they, quote unquote, did not know and may never know to who the note referred to. So the note even says, like, oh, and don't blame the guy I was with last night.
Fuck's sake.
It's like, that would be the first port of call, right? And also, how fucking stupid of the person.
I'm getting really frustrated.
You've clearly guessed that it was Stephen who wrote this note, right?
Yeah.
So, how fucking dumb of Stephen to go, all right, I've made this elaborate, crazy story about chemsex. And all of a sudden, then he goes, oh, but what did they question me? Oh, I know. Don't question the guy I was with last night. Don't. But again, it sounds like a ridiculous thing that in any other situation you would expect would be like, well, that's a stupid thing to do because that's clearly just pointing a finger right to you, and they're clearly going to go and question that guy, right?
Yeah.
No, they didn't. So it kind of worked. All these fucking stupid things that you would think, like, Stephen's making so many mistakes that you could easily picked up on, but the police, for some reason, don't seem to pick up on them. It's so stupid.
It's really, really, really frustrating.
Very frustrating. After hearing about the third death, Gabriel's roommate John, the one who was already a bit suspicious earlier, became even more suspicious. John actually contacted the police, who were unwilling to give him information. Meanwhile, in an attempt to build his cover story, Stephen Port used a false identity to spread information on Facebook of Daniel and Gabriel's supposed relationship and their engagement in chemsex parties. So he sort of goes online and tries to fabricate these weird, so that it's online about the shit that they got up to.
Wouldn't it be like any kind of way to find out that, though, through like IP addresses and things?
Yeah, they definitely would. But the fact that the police earlier said that it was quote unquote too expensive to search people's computers, they're not going to fucking do that, are they? So John again gave the police the information that he found, that obviously there was this information going on about online about these two. He then contacted Pink News.
Okay.
Which obviously, that's, Pink News, the online website, which is obviously the news organisation, and they asked them for help in raising concerns with police that a serial killer might be at large. So they're thinking the police aren't fucking doing anything. We need some sort of awareness about this thing, because we've known from the previous ones we spoke about, I think on 2 occasions, that's actually been the things that's pushed the fucking police to do the job, right?
Yeah.
With was it Hans and what's his name?
It's the community, isn't it, more than the actual police?
Yeah, the community push for a resolution that they want to push for it. So the editor of the Pink News contacted police, who were not willing to engage with the LGBTQ plus community in relation to the deaths, and reiterated that they believed there was no link between the cases. How? How can you... Okay, so you've got 3 guys, all died of GHB overdose in the same vicinity, all around the same age. How is that not a link? How is there no link?
I don't know. I really don't know why they haven't even come to that conclusion at all.
It's so
that's so frustrating.
And this is the thing where it is the evidence is so clear that literally your nose. You don't have to be a detective. You don't even have to be, a freaking not preschooler, but a primary school kid. If you told them these things, they could join the dots on that. And that's why it's so clear to everyone that this wasn't a case of the police not knowing or being misinformed or not having the right information. This is them just genuinely not giving a fuck about the gay community at all.
No, it's true.
An inquest into Daniel's death, the coroner explained that she had some concerns surrounding the police investigation. So people are getting suspicious of why the police aren't putting this together, because, like we said, it's fucking clear as crystal. The bed sheet that Daniel was wrapped in and the bottle of GHB had not been tested for forensic evidence, and Daniel had been found to have been quote unquote manually handled prior to his death.
Sorry, what does that mean?
So it looks like the body had been moved.
Placed in that sort of situation.
Yeah. So it wasn't like a natural way for a body to fall. It was like that's been put in that position, sort of thing.
Okay.
After an open verdict was returned in the case, Mandy, the
coroner.
There's so many names. This is his mum.
Oh, right, okay.
Stepmom asked police what the next steps in the investigation were. The police dismissed her and told her there was nothing more that needed to be done. This is the most frustrating case possible, and is clearly homophobic. I mean, we're not ones to scream homophobia or anything. We try and give people benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Probably wrongly. We probably shouldn't be as fair as we are with a lot of people, but we are not the people to shout homophobe at the first person to say something negative or to do something wrong. But this is fucking homophobic as fuck. There is no way around this.
Yes.
This is... Yeah, there's just no way. And it's so frustrating that in 2014, 2015, these two things cross over, that's possible.
I know.
With the police force, whose fucking wages we fund without taxes. That's the fucking thing. These guys who would go to university, their parents, they'd work their lives, paid their taxes, and they were getting paid what to pay the fucking taxes for? They're not going to fucking do the shit. Ugh, it's so frustrating. So frustrating. 3 months after the inquest into Daniel's death, in 2015, yet another body was found. So the third body to be found in the graveyard was that of Jack Taylor. Jack was 25 years old and living with his parents in Dagenham, where he worked as a forklift truck driver. Jack's sister Donna recalls her parents being told by police in an extremely matter-of-fact tone that Jack was dead, and the needle marks and powder were found on him. This whole situation didn't sit right with his sister, who knew that her brother to be vocally anti-drug, so he was very against drugs.
Right.
It's like as if someone it's like if someone came to me and said you had died from an overdose of something. I'd be like, what? Mm-hmm. That's not right. That doesn't make sense. And also the fact she says, the police say it in a very matter-of-fact tone. You can imagine him just going like, Jack's dead. Sarah.
I know. It's fucked up, this.
It's stupid. So just over a week after Jack's death, his sister Donna and her sister Jen visited Dagenham police station to receive an update, only to discover that there was no case. Police were satisfied that Jack had simply sat down in the graveyard and took an overdose.
Even like with, do you call it like a character witness sort of thing?
Yeah, even with
a character witness to say that he never does drugs.
Even with all that,
still...
even with the other people being found in the same vicinity doing this, same way they died. I find that we're probably going to end up repeating our frustrations over and over again.
I know.
So we probably should just make it clear that this is the most frustrating story we've probably ever told so far.
Definitely.
And it does continue to be more and more frustrating. And we'll just say that. So Donna and Jen remained persistent, though. Like Gabriel's friend John, they conducted their own research and found links between all the cases. Obviously, it wouldn't take you very fucking long. They raised these similarities with the police, who dismissed them as being unconnected. They continued.
How?
I don't know. Like I say, we've repeated this over and over, so we can't repeat the same points again. But no, it's fine. It's frustrating as fuck, and it's hard not to say how the fuck and go through it again, because
I know
that's exactly what you think. But so they continued to pester the police until one officer agreed to show them the place where Jack's body was found. They met the officers at Barking train station, where they were informed of CCTV footage showing Jack meeting a man and leaving with him. Strange that this CCTV footage of Jack meeting a man and leaving with him had never been brought up previously, and for some reason was never thought of as valid evidence.
And did you say the police knew about this?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Donna and Jen had been notified of this had never been notified of this evidence previously. Donna and Jen were surprised by how carefree the police seemed to be about the identity of the man in the CCTV footage. So they really didn't care who the other guy was.
Was the other guy? Could you see who it was?
Yeah. I didn't take a screenshot of it, but there is. I can show you it after this, and I'll put a picture. I'll try and do a screenshot for the Facebook page, but yeah, it's pretty clear who it is.
I'll say one thing though. Even discarding the other two people, the first one where it was the body outside of his own place.
There should have been more done at that point, right?
Yeah. When you see the CCTV cameras with him on it,
yeah,
and
you go, hang on, this
dead.
is the same guy. Yeah, but this is the fucking thing. They just don't.
No,
give
I know.
a fuck.
I know.
They just don't give a fuck. After more persistence from Donna and Jen, police reluctantly agreed to release photos of the man on the CCTV footage to the public, appealing for information. 2 days later, Stephen Port was identified and arrested. So once again, they've only done this because people have pressured them into it. Mm-hmm. Police interviews with Stephen confronted him with his internet search history. So they actually did go through some of his internet search history. But to be fair with you, I don't know. That takes, 2 seconds to click on it? Doesn't really take too much investigation, right? Just a nosy parent can do that. Mm-hmm. So his internet search history detailed an obsession with violent pornography related to young men being drugged and rape. Stephen described this in his police interview as, it's just general porn. It's not general porn. General porn's like, I don't know. What is general porn?
That
Being
sounds
bummed?
like dark web shit, that.